From the beautiful campus of Casper College, it's the T-Birds Coaches Show, bringing you game breakdowns, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews. Here's your host, Tom Myler.
Welcome, T-Bird fans, to another great episode of our Casper College Coach Show. Once again, back with us today is Coach Angel Shark. Welcome back, Coach.
Thank you.
Man, we missed you last week. Granted, it was fun having Mina and Emily. They were definitely a little giggly. We loved it. It was a good time.
Gives them a good opportunity, right?
It does, and definitely to see a different side of it, right? You're coaching, you're not necessarily on the floor in the game. So they were able to say and be a little bit more honest of saying, hey, we goofed up there, or that was an awesome play, whereas you're just like, well, technically. So it's always fun to get the different views, but we always like having you back on the show.
Thank you.
Because, we're like best friends, BFFs.
We are.
Hear that? We're BFFs. So, all right, Coach, we had two games this last weekend. We went 1-1, played Central Wyoming, and then played Northwest. Let's get into it. Let's start with the Central game.
Central game. Okay, so again, that went back and forth. We started off slow. We started off slow every set for some reason on the very first one. We had to come back, I think, from like 9-2.
Oh.
But then we're right there, and then it's tied 23-23, and then we miss a serve, and then we make another error. So I think, we just make the mistakes at the wrong time, and then that just kills our momentum. So we get our momentum going, and then boom, we just make too many mistakes. Like we had I think 11 missed serves, and then we got aced again 18 times. So we just get that just tight in the wrong times. And again, our mental, I don't know if we get scared when it gets to 20, because the second set was 21-25. So again, we were right there. We were leading. And then we just kind of get errors, and we just can't stop the errors. So I don't know. I think there's times where we see it gets better, and then there's times that it just goes back to where it was. So we're really up and down at that point.
I mean, I could definitely agree with you up and down, because I'm not even this last weekend, but the week before playing Western Nebraska, I felt like the first 15 points of the first match, it's like, okay, hey, look, this is the team that I know we could beat. They're playing well. And then all of a sudden, Western Nebraska goes on a 10-point run and wins the match. The set. It's just,
So again, we can't get out of our heads. Once we get 2 or 3 errors, then we can't get out of our head or somebody step up and be like, hey, we're fine, we're good, let's pull it. And we just we get tight, and no one talks to each other. So then we're afraid to make a mistake. When you're afraid to make a mistake, you're going to make a mistake. So we just don't have that, hey, let's just go out and kill it. We're thinking about what we just did or not to do. And that's our biggest mistake.
Yeah, and I definitely would agree that, honestly, if it comes down to it, that's what's been the rough this season. It's just your own mistakes. You're beating yourself.
We are beating ourselves in a lot, and we've told them that. We've been really trying to focus that on in practice, is that, okay, we're good making an error, but we got to make sure that the next ball we're focused on fixing that error. So I thought some of us this last week have improved in that. There's still a couple that are still just kind of timid.
Yeah, definitely with even, I know it's junior college volleyball. It's still collegiate level. You can't be timid.
No, you cannot. I mean, especially with our culture, we are aggressive. We want to be assertive. We want to go and have that grit. And you can't be timid and have grit at the same time.
No, I would agree with that statement. So it's a tough one. A team that, hey, you play at the higher level, you win, but you end up beating yourself and lose the Central 3-1. But you did have another great day on Saturday that you put together, stayed more consistent, didn't beat yourselves, and you beat Northwest 3-1. Let's talk.
Yeah, so Northwest, again, I think, we should have beat them in 3. We let the second set get away because, again, of our mistakes. We were up this time in the second set. I think we were up 10-2, and they came back because, again, we get nervous when we start making the mistakes. And so, again, we got up there 23-23, and again, we do something that our mistake. They didn't earn it, and they win. We let the ball drop on match point. Setter was coming. They saw the setter coming, and we stepped away, and the ball dropped on match point. So again, that's where, again, we're a little tentative of, I don't want to be the one that makes the mistake on match point, I feel like. So I just need those people to be like, hey, I'll step up when it's tight situations. I don't know if I have those people.
That's unfortunate. It also sounds too like it's still a communication issue here.
Oh yeah. It's improved, but at times it doesn't. I mean, we just we go hard, looks great, and then we get into that slump again. Volleyball, such up and down.
Right.
We talked about momentum, and when that momentum goes down for us, that's when we stop communicating, and then that's when things hit the fan.
Well, let's at least look. So we definitely know what we got to work on. Did you have like a moment within the Northwest game where you're just like, hey, that was a great job, well done, just an awesome kill? Was there a dig? They're like, hey, great hustle. Anything that comes to mind?
We had the third set, I think, is when we really was tied. We were battling back and forth, and pretty soon we just clicked, and everything was just rolling. Our middles did fantastic. I think our middles hit like a 600, and our other middle hit a 400. So our middles were doing great, and so we really were trying to get our middles involved. And so they did a great job transitioning, blocking. I thought our blocks were a lot stronger against Northwest. And so once we got that click, we actually stepped on the gas and kept going. So that was good to see in the third and the fourth set, because again, we took control right at a certain time, and we stayed on it. So I think that was one of the highlights of the weekend, is that I did see improvement of, okay, we did lose some points, but we stayed on the gas and kept going. So that was good to see.
Awesome. We love to hear it. Like, I'm going to repeat it again. When we play well,
oh yeah,
we play well. And you love to see it. Just, it's not necessarily you're mad. It's just like you're frustrated because you know the potential. Yeah. You've seen it. You've seen the glimpses. Just, we need to stay there.
We just don't keep it there. That's the problem. And again, you're going to have some people that maybe have a bad night, but then you need those extra people to step up. And unfortunately, we're going through injuries like crazy right now.
I did see that Aubrey had a finger break.
Yeah,
was it?
Aubrey's got a hand, a finger, Kirsten's dealing with still the leg issue. And then I had a couple other ones that were sick. So our bench was pretty low this weekend. I really didn't have a lot of subs. So we were hoping that nobody got injured. So, because I have one that it's not supposed to jump yet.
Oh.
And so she's been that way all year. She can play a little bit of defense, but she's had some issues. So we just got her back about 2 weeks ago. So we're trying to, our bench is dwindled.
Got it. Okay, well, let's look forward then, shall we? Let's look forward to what we have this week. Thursday, you are on the road against Western Wyoming, and then home again on Saturday against Gillette. Western Wyoming, I believe, was a tough one. You had them here. You were up 2, and they come back in reverse sweep. How are you going to adjust and hopefully come out with a win on this one?
Well, it's going to be harder because they do play really well at their house. And so I think hopefully we have that being mad, I don't know.
That grudge match, huh?
We shouldn't have let you win mentality. But again, it's not going to be easy for us. Because again, they're playing really well. They had, I think, 2 of the players that one middle and their defensive specialists were up for player of the week. So they're playing well. But if we can stop a couple of them, I think if we can serve aggressive at them, because that's what we did last time, and then we kind of got too aggressive maybe. Then we started missing too many serves. So I think if we can take care of our serves and then get our middles involved, that will help our outside. Wisdom's doing a great job, so if she can stay consistent with us. I don't think she had a really good game against that one team, but she had a great weekend. So if we can keep her hot, I think that'll help us as well, because then that will open up our front row, because then they're not focused on just our outsides.
Mm-hmm.
because they're a great blocking team. And so we have to make sure that everybody is ready to go offensively to be a threat.
Yeah, I mean, and we've talked about this before. You can't just have one person. You got to have multiple people and switch it up, and that really helps to spread their defense thin.
For sure, and that's definitely what we had on Saturday. So, because we, again, like I said, we had 4 people that I think were above the 2%. So, which is great.
But you gotta love that. That's a good feeling when, I mean, there's been times where you might have been in the negative.
We were, Western Nebraska, we were in the negative. But like I said, Mina was hitting a 6.67, I think. I think she had 11 kills, 0 errors.
Wow. Okay.
And then Emily she was hitting in the 400s, and she only had 1 error.
I'll take that.
Yeah. So when your middles can get double-digit kills, and then your outsides are getting double digit, and then your oppo's getting double digit.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive, and again, that's harder to defend for sure. So that's what we need.
All right. So yeah, I think hopefully you can just go in there and just win quick. But I mean, if not, I think your team should hopefully leg it out and win in 5.
It is. Again, we haven't played a lot of 5-set matches. And so I am impressed with our kids because, again, if you look at all of our preseason, we didn't play a lot of 5s. And so when we get into regional play, we've had some 5 sets. And so I was impressed that we pull it out. There's some that, yes, we don't, but we're right there. Mm-hmm. We're not getting blown out in the 5th. So yeah, I think hopefully we battle.
All right, so tough Western Wyoming team away on Thursday. Always tough to play them there, but you do have one last home game against Gillette on Saturday, 2:00. You beat them. You swept them last time. You played them in Gillette. Let's talk a little bit about what we can expect this time.
Gillette's scary because, again, we've been watching them all year long, and Gillette's been taking everybody to 5 or 4, and it's like, and I don't think they played their best game when we went up there. So I am expecting them to play a little bit different when they come here, and they did that last year. I thought we played up there and did okay, and then they came here last year and was playing a lot better. So I do expect them to come out stronger. They're scrappy, and so again, we just need to make sure that we have our middles active. Extremely active, and our blocks have to be up there.
Right, because
they're big.
They're big.
Yeah.
And I assume that's kind of their strategy. Use that size against other teams, and I don't know whether it's mostly focusing on blocks or if they try and switch it up with their big hitters and kind of come down at you. I don't know how.
I think it's a little bit of both. Because again, they use their oppo a lot, and so again, we just need to make sure that we shut her down a little bit, and their middles. They do use their middles quite a bit. So they run a 6-2, so they always have their setters always back row. So we have a game plan, but we'll see if we can run it.
Right, run the game plan. When we run it. And when we execute the game plan, I guess the big thing,
True.
Things go well for us.
It does. Yeah, it does.
All right. Well, as usual, Coach, last question. If we could wave our magic wand for this weekend, what are you hoping? What do you need to happen correctly for it to be a successful weekend?
I think the big thing is, if I could have a magic wand, is trying to get everybody active and just staying excited through the whole match instead of having certain runs. I understand that we're going to have some runs against us, but we need to make sure that it's like not 5-2. It could be 3-2. And so if we can cut those runs that we give opponents, that would be awesome.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, when you score more points than your point, you're going to win.
You are. You are.
So, not to put it so blatantly, but yeah. When you score more, you're going to win.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Coach. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
We love talking volleyball, and you know what? We're hoping that things work out, because I imagine if you win out, because right now you're tied for 4th in the conference,
4th, yeah.
You got to be 4th or higher to get into the playoffs.
Yep.
So if we got to win out, or
got to win.
So that way we can make it playoffs. We like watching you guys at playoffs. We always just love watching.
We'll try.
Playing in the playoffs sounds nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Coach, for your time. And
Thank
well, T-Bird fans, remember Saturday they're here at 2 o'clock. So if you want to make sure to catch one last final home game for our Lady T-Birds playing volleyball, be sure to be there. So until next time.